What is up, everybody? This is my Batwoman Season 2, Episode 17, entitled Kane, Kate, and, yeah, overall, this episode, I thought it was good. Like, there haven't really been this many episodes this season that I thought were bad. There were a lot of episodes this season that I thought were great, but I didn't think this was one of them. I thought it was just pretty good. It wasn't good enough to be amazing or great, in my opinion. But, yeah, I just really enjoyed this episode. I thought it was a fun episode. It really focused on the Kane stuff, which I really want to see more. But I wanted to see more. But anyway, I'm rambling, so let's roll that intro, and let's roll. Well, this episode starts off with Batwoman fighting some guards in one of Black Mask's beauty cosmetic places, because you gotta remember, Sionis runs like a cosmetic business. So yeah, she doesn't get the information she wants out of Black Mask, so she sprays the guard with pepper spray and or not pepper spray, the perfume, and she's like, oh, I bet you guys test this on animals, you don't test on humans, and it proves right, because that thing burnt, and she almost eventually gets the information that she needs. But she gets back there and talks to Luke, and they basically talk about what's going on, and if anybody's seen Kate within the last 10 hours. So, yeah, there wasn't that big of a time jump. But then, Mary basically, says, like, hey, there's this person in the hold-up acting like they own the place, and of course they do own the place, because it's Kane, like, taking shots and be like, woo, yeah! So then they, sorry, I dropped what I was fidgeting with, sorry, headphone users, but, Kane, she like talks when they're trying to make her like sleep the alcohol off, and like talks to Mary, and Mary's like, oh, you remember, that's nice, or whatever. And yeah, they just talk, and that's really what they do. I don't know why I'm repeating myself, but Sophie catches Ryan packing her stuff away, because obviously she doesn't need, no, that's not this part, but that's later, so keep that in mind. But they talk about a plan, and the plan is to go get Alice's help, because Alice would probably make Kate snap out of it. So Mary goes to get Alice, and she is still mourning over Ocean. It's been, what, 10 hours? Like, I don't know, but I feel Mary right here wants to say, oh, this is a similar situation, because you remember Alice killed Mary's mother, and Alice, like, and Mary talks. It's just a great scene, and I love seeing how far these characters have come. So, like, I just love seeing how far they've gone since season 1. But then in the loft, we have Luke dropping off Kate's old journals that she's journaling as Batwoman, and Kate says some snarky remark or whatever, and Luke is like, oh, smartass, yeah, I remember. But they just talk, and it's not 100% Kate. I can't wait to see when it is Kate and Luke finally talk after they got close last season. I don't know, but Luke says that they were friends, and Kate takes off her sweatshirt. Like, Luke doesn't see anything, but Luke's like, hey, not that type of friend, or sorry, tank top. And Luke's like, hey, we're just friends. And Kate's like, yeah, I know. And she put on a concert tee, which Cersei later makes fun of, like, one earring concert tee or whatever. And Luke's like, hey, I have the keys to your bike if you still remember how to ride. So, throughout the streets of Chicago, not Gotham, no, I'm just kidding, throughout the streets of Gotham, Kate rides her motorcycle, to, surprisingly, a TV studio that is really trashed, and, like, where people drive in. I don't know if they're gonna shoot something, or it just has been trashed and it's been abandoned, but she climbs up these, like, stair ladder, whatever, and meets someone there, and that someone she calls Dad, and it is Roman Sionis. So yeah, Kate was never back. It was just Cersei acting like Kate to get the team's trust. So she goes to Roman Sionis, and yeah, it's just a big confusion and everything. It's trouble. But Kate, so I'm gonna call her Kate, even though it's the body of Kate, even though it's technically Cersei's mind. So I'm gonna call it Kate. Kate gives Roman Sionis the journals that Kate had, and told him it's basically Batcave 101. And Sophia's like, thank you. And Sophia was there, which I got surprised by. I didn't even know she was there. But Kate wasn't even startled by it, so it was probably a camera angle thing where we couldn't even see it. But, yeah, back at the loft, we have, Ryan, and Ryan is, packing up. Anyway, as Ryan's packing up, Sophie, sees that Ryan's packing up, and she's like, why? But it's kind of logical, because Ryan, now that Kate's back, she's probably gonna want to have her home back, and, well, you can come to the conclusion, but Roman Sionis is giving a pep talk to the ex-Crows agents to join the False Face Society, and they will be paid. So they do, and they get weapons, and, Roman Sionis and Russell tap her off. Tavaroff, weirdly, is the one being like, I don't know. But by the end, it all comes into play. But there is this cubicle where this one lonely office worker is working, and it's for Black Mask's pharmaceutical company. And Batwoman comes in, and she doesn't like, it's just like a voiceover, really, but through, like, darkness, which it's such a Batman thing that Ryan does here, where she, like, gets the information secretly and steals the laptop, and she steals the laptop and goes back to the Batcave, and nobody's in there except the microphones are on in the Bruce's office where everybody is, and Ryan hears Kate saying, "Oh, I can't wait to be out there in the suit." Yeah, it's kind of like, ouch. Ryan's done so much for the city, but she's just a placeholder. So we're back where we started all the way in episode 1, with Ryan in her van, talking to her plant. All the friendships she's made throughout the past 2 months, timeline-wise, have just gone, and she's just back. Or she's back where she started. Her friendships aren't gone, but I don't know, and that plant kind of symbolizes everything that's happened to Ryan throughout the season. She doesn't have a plant anymore. Her plant is cracked. She won't need it by the end of the season, because she found her people. But she goes through Black Mask's, the laptop that the person was working on, see how much the Crows what the False Face is getting paid, and how much that money is going to. And there are cops outside, and the cops, like, grab the laptop and pull Ryan out of the van, and yeah, Ryan's like, what is this about? You have no reminder, Black Mask, owns the GCPD, so, Black Mask planted some, or a GCPD member planted some snakebite to, get Ryan in for drug charges again. And, yeah, she gets taken away by the police. And, the day after, we have Ocean, or Alice, presumably after they burned Ocean's body and Ocean got cremated. She is walking to the ocean, and, she gets flashbacks to when her and Ocean first met in episode 7, I believe, with all the flashbacks for Ocean. And, yeah, it's just, I love this relationship, man. It's just, yeah, it's a great relationship. I don't know. But Alice, she dumps out the urn, and all of Ocean's ashes go into the, ocean. It's quite poetic, really, but that's not a lot of ash, man, for, like, what's that dude? That dude looked like he was, like, 6 foot, and that's all the ash that, like, when he was burnt. That's just not right to me. But, yeah. Sophia, she, is there, and Sophia talks to, Alice, and Alice can't believe that Sophia is actually there, because Sophia, wow, she left her kingdom, oh, your highness, or whatever, and it's just, actually kind of just, wow, and Alice and Sophia talk, and, Sophia says what I just said, ocean to ocean, because, you know, Alice put Ocean's, urns, or, ashes, sorry, I dropped some, Alice put Ocean's, ashes in the ocean. It's poetic, but Alice loses her knife in this encounter, her, like, you know, the one that she flips around all the time, and it's just, you can see the pain on it. I've said it once and I'll say it again, Rachel Skarsten is the best actress or actor on the show. She can rival, Tom Cavanaugh, or, like, Grant Gustin or Stephen Amell for being one of the best actors in the Arrowverse. And I think that she has just done an amazing job these past 2 seasons. And Alice, Loki is my favorite character in this entire show, or the Arrowverse, just because of her performance. And even with the lazy writing season 1 had, she made me feel for Alice back then, and makes me feel for Alice back now, even when you shouldn't, because Alice is a sadistic murderer. And, just like Jacob Kane said, when you try out Alice, remember Beth Kane, which is the pain of Alice's character. But after that weird rant, we have, Ryan being brought into the GCPD, so I don't know if it would go to night to morning that fast on a car ride to the GCPD holding or parking garage. But after the cop gets in, Roman Sionis gets in, or after the cop gets out, Roman Sionis gets in, and Roman Sionis is like, well, Batwoman, and Ryan's like, okay, Black Mask, and this was a great encounter. You know, when you have a main villain, you always have to have the main villain and the person's real identity. They always have to, like, connect or whatever, but, talk to each other when they're not in costume or heroes. It becomes very interesting, and Ryan tries to compare, or they try to compare each other to each other, like they're basically doing the same thing but for different purposes. That's what Black Mask says. They both wear masks and are trying to make the city better. But you can argue both of them aren't doing it in great ways, because Black Mask is just creating the false face society and trying to make Gotham under his reign. And Batwoman is just trying to make Gotham a better place by not having anybody in power. So, I'm sorry, let me clear my throat. Yeah, but we have the Bat team talking that are usually in the Batcave, and they're just talking to Kate, and they go down to the Batcave, Mary and Luke, as Sophie stays behind. Sophie tells, Kate, or gives Kate the letter that Sophie got at the end of the first episode, which it was weird because they had, the person who plays Sophie read the letter instead of, Ruby Rose, because Ruby Rose doesn't come back, man, not even for voiceover, but, yeah, Kate comes down to the Batcave and is like, well, my hardest secret was, the hardest thing today was not even lying to you, and she knocks out all the people in the Batcave with some trank darts, and, because it's Cersei, and it's just a great betrayal. But here we have one of the best scenes of the episode, and it is, Ryan in the holding cell with her parole officer, and her parole officer, is just mad, because, like, Ryan's basically doing the same thing again, and it's hard for this parole officer to trust Ryan, because from what her point of view, it looks like Ryan went to jail for 18 months for drug charges that she said wasn't hers, and now she's gonna go to jail again for drug charges which she said wasn't hers, so it's history repeating itself, but Ryan is like, you gotta believe me, they aren't mine, and, yeah, it's just, throughout this conversation, Ryan says that she's Batwoman, which puts a whole different perspective on, what's going on for the parole officer, and, by the end of it, they are on the same team, and Ryan just asks her to trust her, which, the parole officer ultimately does decide to trust Ryan. But then, it's time for Ryan to be taken away, and there are two officers that come in, and they try to take Ryan away, but, the parole officer says, I think my client is being falsely accused. I would like to speak to the judge, and when this happens, one of the officers pull out a gun to kill both of them, because it's Black Mask, and the GCPD is on Black Mask's payroll. So, to prove that Ryan is Batwoman, she takes down the police, or the GCPD officers that are corrupt, and, yeah, it's just really, really interesting, but, yeah, it's just a really great fight scene that was actually pretty good choreographed, and I think, Javicia Leslie does her own stunts during this, like, fight scene, which, it's not, like, stunts when it's just hitting and punching, but you gotta hit your mark and, like, do all the stuff, which is pretty impressive. But before Ryan can leave, her parole officer and her talk real quick, and her parole officer gives her a, badge, so that Ryan can exit through the, parking garage to get out fast, and I don't know if that lady's gonna get killed or whatever, but Ryan's like, oh my god, thank you, which, if that lady didn't do that, Gotham City might not survive, which is like, that woman is a hero, actually, but, Sophie wakes up, and they are trapped in Sophie and Luke are trapped in the Batcave elevator, and, Luke says that Kate, or Cersei, whatever you call her, that's quoting Luke, which has been very troubling for me to not to know to call her for the past 5-6 weeks, and you see that the cords have been ripped almost, and the elevator isn't working, which means the door isn't gonna open. So they talk about a game plan, and there's just no good game plan. They're not gonna escape at this point. But actually, you'd be surprised. And yeah. But we have Sophia, and can you hear that? I don't know if you can. There's like this plane passing overhead, and it's real loud. But we have Sophia and Alice talking, and I don't know. Well, I do know what's going on, but throughout this conversation, Alice, I don't know. It's just a big thing, and she finds out. No, this is the next conversation. This conversation was honestly pretty pointless, but there are 3 big conversations between Sophia and Alice that they cut between throughout the episode, and the last one, the last one is the biggest and has the biggest impact, and I think this here is where Sophia name drops Cersei, which makes Alice realize that Mary lied to her, and that Kate is not alright. But in the Batcave, Kate she just stumbles around and steals a bunch of crap, and she stumbles throughout rooms and steals a bunch of stuff that is like toxic, and it's like Mad Hatter's hat, Poison Ivy's rose, and just a bunch of other crap. But in the other room that she passed through, there were ears, like a bat suit, maybe for Luke to become Batwoman for, but I don't know, that's just some theory. Here's when stuff goes down. Ryan Wilder enters the Batcave. That's all I have to say. No, I'm just kidding. She sees that the team are locked in the cage, and Kate is not there. And Mary tries to tell them all about it, and how they can't get out, and they talk, and when it's just a real, like, they don't know how to get out. But when Ryan goes to get for a weapon to open it, they're gone. And you know who sees this? Kate. And what does she shoot? A crossbow at Ryan. Kate's not that good at crossbow, man. I'm gonna say it. She's pretty trash. She's gas without the G. But Ryan hides, and Kate's like, come out, wherever you are. I'm gonna find you. Or whatever. But, it's like, Ryan escapes somehow, and I'm still confused on this after watching the actual episode and this clip. She escapes somehow, and Kate's basically like, hey, if you don't come out, I'll have to start threatening to shoot someone else. And she points the arrows at Luke, Mary, and Sophie. And so Sophie is like, no, don't do this, and you won't do it, or whatever. And Kate's like, yeah, I will. Or Sophie tries to appeal to Kate inside the mine, but Cersei's like, no, I will. And she shoots and almost hits Luke. But she's also gas at the crossbow, so she can't even hit anything. But Mary tries to appeal to Kate now. And when these people can learn, it's not gonna, like, you're not gonna appeal to Kate. But Kate shoots again, and it almost hits Sophie. It hits in between Sophie's jacket for this outfit, and Kate is like, oh, shoot, or whatever. But then she turns around and Ryan's there and Ryan blasts Kate with all the, with a fire extinguisher and all the gas from that, and then hits, Kate with the fire extinguisher, not knocking her out, because I think she pulled, the punch when she hit it, and, Cersei's like, hey, this nose costs more than everything in here, and, that was funny, but Ryan's like, actually, that nose is probably faker than, well, that nose isn't yours, actually, so that's why I pulled the punch or whatever, and they start fighting, and man, this was so cool. The two Batwomen having a fight, in the Batcave. Who's gonna win? We don't know. Well, I do know, because it's been, 21 hours since the episode aired. No, 20 hours since the episode aired when I'm recording this. So it has to be, but Luke and the team inside the elevator get, the arrows from, whatever, and they're trying to get the crossbow with, Mary's belt or whatever, but Ryan and Kate keep continuing to fight, and yeah, boys, I didn't mean to take that screenshot, it was intentional, but there you go. They eventually get, the crossbow arrows out, and, because of that, they hold the arrows down below, and they lift up, and the, gate for the bat elevator comes up a little bit, and we don't see them escape, but this is when the tables, I thought, would turn, because they eventually don't, spoiler alert, but, yeah. Yeah, Kate and Ryan continue to fight until Ryan is thrown on the ground, and, Ryan gets hit with a fire extinguisher by Kate, breaking her arm, and Ryan's arm is now broken, and, yeah, before Kate can do any more damage, Sophie holds the crossbow right next to her head, and it's like, hey, don't move. Well, right not next to her head, but pointed at Kate, clearly, because she's a crow, so she knows how to shoot, like episode 13 we talked about, but, Ryan lays on the ground, and Kate runs away, and steals the bat bike, and they go to Ryan, and, yeah, but here's what I was talking about with, Alice and Sophia. They are talking now, and obviously, and through this encounter, Sophia says her plan to use poison ivy's rose to activate the rest of the desert roses on the island of Coriana, which has now been destroyed and is in shambles after Alice burnt the place down. So, they're just, yeah, it's a big problem, but, yeah, Rachel Skarsten just does great acting. You can see the pain and also frustration in her face, not right there, but throughout this, but they eventually hug, which was Sophia's worst move she could ever have done, because when she did this, Alice whispered something in her ear, and throughout this altercation, Sophia's soul gets stabbed. It is with the Desert Rose knife, but Alice says she's not taking it out until everybody's safe and Sophia can be dealt with. So you're just gonna be dead or suffering until I take out that knife. So, that is Alice's little revenge to Sophia about Ocean. And honestly, she did kill Tatiana, so she got her revenge on Ocean's killer. But here we have, the team minus, including Sophie, they go into the radioactive room where Mr. Freeze's gun was, but Luke sees that, the thing that was holding, everything that was, like, radioactive is now empty, and Luke and the Bat team kind of talk, and Luke explains what this room once was, and, how it held everything Batman tried to keep away, and it was kind of toxic. And you know Kate never went back there because of how cobwebby all this stuff was. But Ryan and Luke talk real quick, and Ryan's just like, thank you or whatever, and Mary joins in, and this is kind of our finale point where our heroes are at their lowest spots yet, and somehow they're gonna win next episode. I don't know, maybe with the inclusion of Batwoman if you saw the promo. But yeah, we have on the desk, on a table, we have everything displayed out that Kate took, and Russell Tabernoff is there, knowing that it's in false face possession, and he's like Killer Croc's tooth, Clayface's mud is all there, and he asks Roman Sionis what is he doing with this, and Roman Sionis says, I'm gonna succeed in where all these every other villains fail. And Roman Sionis gives Russell Tabernoff Bane's Venom. I am so excited for the next episode. I can't wait. I hope that Batwing and Tabernoff, or Bane, I don't remember his comic book name. I know he's a villain in the comics. Russell Tabernoff. I can't wait for them to fight Luke and Russell tomorrow, next Sunday. But I don't know. I'm just so excited, man. We have Kate. She is cutting up all her fabric of the batsuit that she stole. And I was originally like, wait, how would she do this? Because the scissors can't cut that. But no, she has a piece of kryptonite, which she probably also took from the radioactive place. And she's cutting up the batsuit, and she's real focused, man. And, I don't know, she could have just kept the bat symbol, but I don't know why she did this. Maybe because it's just cool, but she made, like, a little slash indent in the bat symbol, which, again, I don't understand why she did that, but maybe it's cool, I don't know. But anyway, that was my review for, Batwoman Season 2, episode, 8/17, wow, man, I've done 16 Batwoman reviews, that's impressive, but, next week will be the finale, and it will be my last Batwoman review a week from today, hopefully at 3. I'm sorry that this video is coming out a little later. I had something to do this morning, so I couldn't, this morning, what am I talking about? The thing was at 1, I went to bed at 5 in the morning for, like, Legends of Tomorrow review, so that deserves a like. But anyway, I'm just rambling, and go down the description, follow our socials, please subscribe, because we're on the road to 200 subscribers, like the video. And, I don't know, turn notifications if you're subscribed, and I'm out, so goodbye, stay safe, and goodbye.